Hello everybody, this is Ronar and welcome back to another episode of Beyond Legendary. Today we've got a 10 to 12 enemy mission to extract a VIP. We do not start off with concealment on this mission and we've got only 5 people. Let's go through each one of our units over here. Our first one over here is Derek Le, who's going to be our Phantom Hijacker. They've got stealthing capabilities and they've got the ability to perma-control enemy mechs. They're going to be mostly functioning as our scout for the duration of this mission. We've also got our Geneva expert over here. He's got access to all the war crime abilities, toxic shrapnel rockets that inflict poison and bleeding, a chem thrower that'll also inflict poison as well as disorient from the neurotoxins. We've got our Dragoon over here, capable of hacking, shielding, and plasma blasting. We also have this soldier down here. This is our Fusilier. This is the person that has the really complex little tracking mark system built into their gun here. And then finally we've got our shielder over here, our Hell Knight Bonsai Warrior. Let's begin. We'll start by moving Derek Le up.
Understood. Moving out.
There we go. Up there. Let's try to find the safest way to approach here. Let's start by moving this way a little bit. We'll move a little bit towards the middle of the map. First group of enemies up here. I see a droid, a pathfinder, and a gunner down there. We'll try to move in a way that doesn't activate more enemies. So maybe try to move you up to here. That should be safe. Oh, the music is playing. That means the enemies here did see the VIP, but the VIP doesn't see them, so they're not activated yet. That also means we should try to be a little bit safer here and move
I hope it's worth it.
just about up here, I would say. I'm also going to start setting up shielding on top of some of our guys. Like the VIP. Make sure the VIP is a bit safe here. Unfortunately, you can't really see much from back here, but I'm going to keep slightly DM all the way in the back. You're going to start by setting up a tracking shot mark against that guy down there. Now, unfortunately, since you moved this round, next round you don't get to shoot. We have to wait till next round and then a round after that before our Fusilier gets to start shooting things. So that's something to keep in mind.
Understood.
Set up our rocket person over here, and our Hell Knight is going to come up to here. We don't have a whole lot of equipment to work with here, so I'm trying to
You can depend on me.
try really hard not to get hit by these guys. Here comes the activation. We got 2 enemies right there. Pathfinder and Gunner. Oh! Already they've spotted my hijacker! Okay, well, I've just lost concealment twice in a row here. That feels bad. I'm not doing a very good job of judging our detection radiuses. Here comes another group of enemies. There's a frost droid up there. Our hijacker can try to take control of that frost droid, so we definitely should do that. We definitely should try to have our hijacker take control of that guy. Alright, now then, Fusilier over here doesn't really get to do much of this round. We could try to take the shots, or we can guarantee our shots next round. I am going to mark that trooper. And hopefully we can take care of that guy. Now then, what we're going to do next is we are going to system infiltrate this thing twice, reduce attack defense as much as possible so we can take control of it with our hijacker. So there we go, here's the double system infiltration. And we're gonna try and see if you're able to get the hack on this thing. I want to get you away from this position though, this position doesn't look very good. We'll have you run the Overwatch against that Pathfinder first, and then run you all the way back down to here where it's hopefully safe. He is running alongside the cover, that way it's less likely that you get hit. There we go. And that's also why I shielded the VIP, so the VIP could take some hits for us. Alright then, now. We're going to bring Derek Le all the way back to here and try to take control over that frost droid. If we can take control of it, we'll have an extra hand to help us fight in the upcoming battles that we'll be taking on. Alright, let's see if we can full override this fella here. 65%. Do your best. And we got it. Nice work. Okay, that is going to be a very, very helpful control right there.
I've got access.
Frost Droid is ours. Oh, and it just activates more enemies, nice. Watch this thing die immediately next round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We found 6 of the enemies on the map so far. I know there's a gunner up there. I'm trying to be very careful about how I handle this. The gunner's on Overwatch, so if I approach too aggressively, he's going to be able to hit us with damage, which I don't want. I'm going to improvise a gas grenade with you this round, because I'm not planning on shooting the toxic shrapnel this round. And I think what we'll do is we'll put you right up here with your shields up, and try to have you tank some hits for the team.
I hope it's worth it. Standing fast.
Shields up. Let's see if they'll just target you instead of anyone else. Oh, they're going for the droid, actually. Hang in there, little droid buddy. Alright, droid's still alive. Stay alive there, little droid. Come on, you can do it, buddy. Oof. Died instantly, didn't stand a chance. Well, at the very least, he took some fire off of our team, so that's always a good thing to have. Dodging a couple more shots here, good. Comes the Advent Trooper coming around the sides, taking another shot at Bonsai. Not gonna connect though, unlucky for Advent.
They're all over me.
Okay then. Our Fusilier can start taking shots now. Let's start with a shot on this Advent Trooper, remove the stuff to our left.
Target neutralized.
So as you guys saw earlier, we got the mark and we got the special tracking shot, which was a guaranteed crit and hit. And now we have an extra point over here. This extra point means every single one of the Fusil shots, whether or not it's a normal shot or a tracking shot, will do +1 bonus damage. And once you get to 3, it makes it so that the tracking shots are going to be free. So that is how all of this works. I know a while ago I gave like a really big rundown of how this worked, and it was a lot of talking, but not a lot of showcasing, so I'm glad I finally got a chance to start showcasing to you guys how it works. Now then, I need to take care of that trooper up there, I think. What we'll do is we'll fire a... I kind of want to throw the toxic shrapnel, but I feel like now's not the time to do it yet.
Understood.
We'll bring Basti up a little bit closer so Basti can throw a gas grenade on this trooper, I think. And hopefully when that Frost Legion captain comes a little bit closer, I can take care of him with the toxic shrapnel rocket. For now, we're just going to gas up this trooper so that he's less likely to hurt us. Then move up the rest of our squad so we can just get a little bit closer. Continue shielding up with Bonsai so Bonsai can take hits for the squad. And I think at this point what we're going to do is we're going to start shielding up our frontliners. So 1 shield for Basti. And hopefully 1 more shield for Bonsai. There we go. Double shielding on our front lines. Our front lines are going to be very bulky because of this. Hopefully that'll be enough to get them through this little battle here. We'll have our VIP hunkered down. Our hijacker can't really do much in this position besides either shoot back or hunker down. I guess we'll just take little bits of shots here, try to get like 1 damage ticks off against these guys.
I've got nothing.
A little bit of chip damage on that Advent Trooper. Here comes the gunner right down there. Not gonna connect. I'm surprised they're missing all these 75%. Poor Advent. Okay, a little bit of chip damage. We're still fine though. I believe the game subtracts from the shielding that's on the Hell Knight first before subtracting from the shielding that they were given. So we should have most of our shield up. I think we've only lost 1 point of shield for that round. Sectoid in the back over there, summoning a zombie. Let's see. Oh no, you lost a lot of shielding actually. I guess it destroyed the shielding that the Dragoon gave first. Okay, how do we get these guys here?
Good to go.
I need you to reload. Now each of these tracking marks, they last a long time, so even though this guy had to reload this round, the tracking shot is actually still free. There we go. Another target destroyed. And if we just stall long enough, we can actually just set it up so that our Dragoon, or not Dragoon, our Fusilier can knock out as many enemies as possible. The only thing that's stopping us from making full use of the strategy is the timer right now. Let's take advantage of this opportunity to try and get a hit off against this gunner down there.
Alright, I'll go.
What's an airport? Can you get this guy for us? Very good shot. 4 damage. Not enough for a kill, though. Our hijacker maybe down him? No, the hijacker's a little bit far away. We could swap places with this guy. That would be a kill right there. I wanted to shoot this shrapnel rocket against the stuff up here, but I don't think this is safe right now. Yeah, I don't think this is safe. I think you need to get away from that zombie. That zombie is capable of doing a lot of damage. You do not want to get hit by those things if you can help it. We can also try to kill the zombie. That's not a bad choice either. We could try to kill it. Maybe? I think killing the gunner is a higher priority for me. I'm gonna transposition with the gunner here. Yeah, transposition with that gunner and probably shields up or relocate a little bit closer here. We do know that there's like a sectoid in that building there. We just gotta be a bit careful about that, but I do also want my Hell Knight to kind of regroup with the team. Let's run the Hell Knight back over. We got ourselves a data pad. Nice pickup. Okay, and then we can take care of this guy pretty easily using somebody around here. Let's start with the hijacker first, see if you can land that hit.
We're green to
Take a
go.
quick reload here. See if you can knock him out.
I've got something over here.
Nice shot,
Who's
excellent
keeping
work.
score?
Alright, and with that, we should be able to back off and just play it safe here. I think what I'll do is I'll have Bosky pick up this loot and then back off with a double move. Probably bayonet, interesting. Okay, just get Bosky back there, and hopefully our team will be okay. I think we're all far enough away from the zombie that it won't get a chance to run up to us and start killing us. Back away from the Advent Trooper. Let's see what the Trooper does. He's surrounded by gas clouds, so he might not approach us. Yeah, you'll probably just sit back there. That's a big hit. Ouch. That was a 30% chance to hit, and 20% of that was grazed. So he got the 10% hit, and max rolled us. Ouch, that hijacker is going to be out for a long time, unfortunately. Here comes the side zombie, too. It's a lot of HP, so I either have to unload a lot of damage potential onto this thing, or I can try to all-in the sectoid. I don't know if we can get the sectoid, though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're not getting that sectoid. I can shoot this toxic shrapnel rocket down here, but there's a bit of scatter, so it's not guaranteed to hit the trooper, and also the sectoid. What is the sectoid? I'm pretty sure we're not able to kill the sectoid this round, but I just kind of want to see what he's up to.
I'm going.
Okay, that's where the sectoid is hiding. He's pretty far away. I don't think we can get him. We can kind of hit him. Kind of. Maybe we'll try? Alright, we'll try.
True pain before I finally allow you to die.
Bosky's kind of got this war crime streak going into his voice line. I actually enjoy it, kind of. I think it's kind of funny. Okay, we'll try to smack that sectoid from this side over here. Beautiful damage on this guy. Alright, he should die from the poison and the bleed because of that, so that's excellent. And that should kill off the zombie also. If the zombie doesn't actually die and gets to kill someone, I'll be very sad. Unfortunately, Slightly DM over here can't mark any of the enemies up in this direction. I do want to try to get some vision up there if possible, but I also don't want to put Derek in any danger. What's the best place to position you? I think, like, here hunkered down is the best way to do it. And we'll try to see if we can get vision on something else up there too. Maybe. I gotta be careful about that grub. That grub can also get damage off against us.
I hope it's worth it.
Can you hit anything else up here? Not really. I could Plasma Blaster this Trooper. That'll kill him off. Or the grub. I think I'll Plasma Blaster the Trooper. The grub doesn't do as much damage. I want to just get rid of all damage sources right now if possible. There we go. Excellent hit right there. Oh, now you can hit things. Oh, perfect. Mark that grub for me, please. That Plasma Blaster blew a hole open in that wall. I wasn't even planning on that, but... I mean, obviously I was planning on that, because Genius Commander Ronar doesn't make any mistakes, obviously.
Let's move already.
Alright, and I'm pretty sure the zombie's dead, so let's just have you hunker down here.
Standing fast.
Bit of bleed on that guy, bleed on the sectoid, or poison on the sectoid, then the bleed. There we go.
So here it is.
Zombie dead, excellent work. Stay alive, Derek, we need you in the future. Here comes the Frost Legion captain over there. Taking a shot, not gonna connect. The Frost Legion guys tend to hold SMGs, I think. The SMGs have declining accuracy over long distances. That's why you see a lot of these Frost Troopers and Frost Legion captains only having like 10% chances to hit. Alright, one more tracking shot on that grub and we should be able to knock it out. Nice work, beautiful work to our Fusel. Fusel definitely has just been carrying this team on his back. The Fusel class is just really strong in the early game. I love it so much. Get a bit of damage off on that Frost Legion captain because we can. And now, can we finish that guy off? I can run our Hell Knight up, but I do have to be a bit careful. We've encountered 9 enemies, it says, but one of those was a zombie summon. So we've actually encountered like 8 enemies. I think there's like one more group of enemies out there. Do I go for it? Doesn't feel safe to go for it yet, though. I'm gonna relocate Bonsai Warrior into here and set up a little shield that should draw the fire from that guy against Bonsai instead of the rest of our team, hopefully. Meanwhile, rest of the squad, stay hunkered, stay alive. Derek La, you too, don't die on me. We'll start moving Basti in so Basti can get ready to war crime the rest of the enemies on the map.
Understood.
Let me get Basti a little bit closer. I don't want to move too close yet because we're not ready to take any other enemies on if they do activate. We'll stay a little bit further back. There's an Overwatch from that guy, and we should be able to finish this off now. Can our Fusilier hit him? Fusilier can actually hit him. But I'm not going to stall another round. I'm just going to go in for the kill right now. Run that Overwatch. Bit of chip damage on us, unfortunately, but we should be able to knock him out. Beautiful work to Bonsai.
This looks like the stuff.
Okay, then. Now that we finally got control over the situation, we just need to find the last group of enemies, and we also don't want to stall too long because we do need to leave soon. Unfortunately, my shield protocol is not able to see our teammate up there. I want to shield her up if possible.
It is clear.
Bonsai. Oh, I guess you can't put the shield on Bonsai because it's counting as Bonsai having had a shield already. Alright then, I guess the other person to put a shield on would be Derek La, because Derek La is in the middle of dying. And I think at this point, I'm just gonna dash up instead of reloading. I want to cover some distance. The evac zone is pretty far away still.
Let's go.
Get the rest of our squad moving up here. There should be one more group of enemies out
I'll
there.
hold on to it for the time
Fairly
being.
certain there is. But we have control over most of the map, so I guess at this point we might as well take advantage of the fact that we are not worried about running around this part of the map. Where might the other enemies be hiding?
I see.
Get out the rooftop? We can get across there from here. You can run over here, run to here, jump over, and then run across.
Alright, I'll go.
Let's get the rest of our squad all the way up here. IPU2. Seems like all of this spot is safe so far.
No need to ask twice.
Run our Fusilier all the way up.
Got it covered.
And let's just be patient here.
I won't hold anything back.
Nothing.
I'm going.
Get Bonsai in a little bit closer.
Advent troops here.
They're right underneath us. Hello. Got ourselves an officer, a pathfinder, and a sentry. Lots of stuff around here. They can climb up here to start shooting at us, so that's something to keep in mind. I could also shield up with Bonsai right now if I wanted to. If I paid a bit more attention as to how they moved, I might be able to get to a good spot to attack them all with Basti here. Let's see if we can get an idea of where they're all hiding. We got one officer down there. Pathfinder over there. Where can we set up Basti so Basti can hit as many targets as possible using that flamethrower? We can either go for the officer or we can go for the sentry, so that just means someone else has to take care of these remaining enemies around here. Can you get any kills for us here? What's an airport?
I hope it's worth
Let's see
it.
if What's an Airport can down that sentry. If they can down the sentry, then we go for the flamethrower on the officer, I think. Beautiful shot from What's an Airport. And that is going to allow Basti to go for the flamethrower on top of Mr. Officer down here. I'm pretty sure this is within range of the flamethrower. I want to make sure that we can't get flanked by that Pathfinder, because the Pathfinder will do a ton of damage if you get hit by that guy.
I'll
Beautiful
slice you
work.
into 1,000
Light 'em
pieces
up.
as you want.
Beautiful work. Poisoned, burned, and disoriented all at once. Literally the worst day of this guy's life. Not too bad. Then after that, we just hunker down Derek Led so you can't die in one shot from the Pathfinder up there. And what I'll probably do is I'll activate the one for all on Bonsai and hope that they target Bonsai, because Bonsai will have negative 30 defense. They should be the easiest target to hit, and that should incentivize this guy to target Bonsai as much as possible. Hopefully, at least.
Will do.
Meanwhile, the VIP is just gonna go home because the VIP can make it out. Get you out of here, buddy. And there we go. VIP is out, and this mission is about to be an amazing success. See what these guys have to do. Officer's on fire, disoriented and poisoned. He basically can't move. Look at that 2 mobility he's got. Oh, that's a big hit. Or that would have been a big hit if he had crit. I didn't expect this Pathfinder to be able to run all the way up here to shoot me in the back. But he was able to do that. Alright, the Fusilier can make it out. Bonsai can make it out. I'm gonna have Bonsai come around here to shoot that Pathfinder in the back. The officer will no longer be burning next round, so we do have to finish him off. I'm shooting these guys so I can get the EXP out of killing them. It is worth it to stick around for this, if possible. Let's try our best to get these kills here. Ooh, in fact, we can get a kill for Derek Le over here. Hijackers rarely get a chance to get kills themselves, so it's always nice when they can actually pick up a kill. Now then, before the reinforcements come, there's 2 things that you should always do. See this ladder up here? You want to secure it. Have one guy standing in front of the ladder up there, and have another person standing in front of the ladder down here if possible. That way, if reinforcements come in, and a mech or a drone drops in, they don't occupy these tiles and force you to have to fight them. You've secured these tiles, they are your tiles now,
Running.
but the enemies can't block you off. Always good to make sure that you secured the exit point for your units. Alright then. Last group of enemies, they shouldn't be able to stop us from leaving. In fact, I'm just gonna skip through that cutscene real quick.
Fire's getting worse here.
And there we go. Good job to the squad. You guys did pretty well considering how tough this mission was supposed to be.
It is clear.
This was a 12 enemy count
Do
mission.
this.
Very challenging one for a 5 squad to take on this early on in the game, especially with how little equipment we've got. I would say I would have to
Let's go.
attribute this victory to everyone in the squad, even the hijacker. Like, it didn't seem like the hijacker did a lot, but they were able to take control of that droid, and force all the enemies to shoot at that droid for that one round. That potentially saved someone from getting downed. You could also argue that hijacking that droid technically just pulled 2 more enemies, so it would have actually been less dangerous if we didn't do the hijacking. But, oh well. I'll see you guys back in HQ, and we'll do some more strategy stuff. Alright, welcome back, you guys. That was a pretty big hit that you took there, Derek. But you're still alive, and I think we can be very happy for that at the very least. Give you your resupply. Your next big promotion is going to come at Sergeant, and then after Sergeant, the next big promotion will probably come at like Gunnery and Master Sergeant. I don't know how useful Recon is. I haven't really gotten a chance to play around with it too much. We'll find out how useful it is when we actually get up to that point, I guess. And we'll give this guy aim, I guess. Sure. Okay, we got ourselves a powered bayonet, which sells for quite a bit of cash. I think 20 supplies. I always sell the powered bayonets, not because it's not good, but because of how much cash it's worth. I almost always sell that when I get the opportunity. Alright, good pickups, and we got ourselves a brand new soldier over here. This guy also needs a new name, so if you guys want this soldier, make sure to leave a comment in the comments below and specify that you want that soldier. Go take a look at this fellow. 16 mobility, 67 aim, decent hack, lots of health. In terms of abilities, not seeing anything that's Ooh, look at this, he's got Shadowborn. Now, the Shinobi class is already one of the stealthiest units. We've already got Lightfoot, as well as Covert. So that's already like, what, 45% reduced detection radius. Comboed with this, we got ourselves another, I think it's 15%? 33% detection radius reduction. So these guys are generally considered one of the best stealthers. This soldier over here is gonna be our super duper stealth unit, if that makes any sense. I'm going to be teaching you how to scrounge and how to Shadowborn. I might even give you evasive with extra points just to keep you alive for longer because you've got such good perks here. You're going to be integral in doing our super stealth missions. Going to give you the double time ability followed by... most of the stuff here doesn't matter too much. Maybe Dead of Night. Maybe not even Dead of Night. I might just give you Whirlwind. That way if you need to double move, chop something, and then take an extra move to escape, you can. Yeah, this guy will have a lot of movement options. Precision shot, disabling shot. I'll even give you Reaper just so you have extra options. If ever you need to escape from somewhere, you can activate double time. Then he can do a triple move action to kill something with Flash. Then he'll get his movement refunded with an extra action, as well as the whirlwind action. He can basically make 5 tiles of movement, assuming he gets to chop and kill an enemy from as far away as possible. You can do some really janky things with that. I'm looking forward to playing around with that for sure. We'll give you that conceal, we're gonna give you shadow step so you don't get shot to death while you're running around chopping things, and we're gonna give you covert for that extra stealthiness. Alright, looking forward to making you into doing some really weird missions. I'll probably give this guy a nice little customization once he gets named. Make him into a really cool member of the squad. Probably dress him up in something stealthy looking. Okay. that we're done with that, let's head back over to here. We got ourselves more Avenger power. Ooh, that's really good. I will pick that up after I get our next Liberation mission, because we're long overdue for a Liberation 2 mission. I really want to find one of those. We finally got our laser weapons up and running.
Conduct the appropriate research as soon as possible.
This is inspired. Normally I'd just go straight into advanced laser weapons, but this is inspired, so we'll do this first, and then we'll go straight into our laser weapons after.
Our highest priority.
Alright, and let's not forget to pick up that Avenger power after we get to our Liberation missions, if possible. Skip through that cutscene real quick.
The advent
I'm assuming most people here have already seen every single cutscene, so we don't have to watch through everything. Alright, next up is going to be our advanced laser weapons.
Begin our research immediately.
And then after that, we're going to go straight into combat armor. Did we finally find our second liberation? There we go, another liberation, and we got ourselves a scientist. That is an excellent one to get. I'm very excited to do this mission. It's a 10 to 12 enemy mission with 6 days left on it. We should have plenty of time to do this mission. As soon as our game stops lagging, I will load up a squad. Here we go. Alright, I think since this is going to be one of the tougher missions, we want to make sure that we have the best of the best with us. We'll start off with a nice and powerful Hell Knight over here. I think we definitely want at least one flamethrower person on this team, followed by our Buccaneer. Buccaneer's a pretty solid choice. We'll probably bring Toki on this one. And one more person. I'm thinking we probably bring the Marksman, although I could also bring along... Maybe we start bringing in the Shinobi. I want to train this guy up, actually. Or was it this guy? No, it was this one. There, sorry. Sorry, Adam Wing. But, this new guy over here, I really want to get him up to Corporal so they can get all of their stealth perks up and running. Alright, this is going to be our squad, a rescue VIP from Advent Cell. Good bit of armoring there, give you a ceramic plating. Maybe we'll give you, I don't know, a hacker's laptop maybe? Oh, this is a hack mission. I should probably bring a hacker on this one. What's in airport's tired, unfortunately. Do we overwork what's in airport? I kinda do want to have a shielder on this mission because we got so many frontline units. We'll take off the Arsonist for now, I think, and throw the Dragoon in. Just in case we get a good hack on this door, I want to make sure that we have the opportunity to get the hack rewards on it. Give you a lot of extra HP, make sure you don't take too many injuries on this mission. Got our alloy sword on the Buccaneer. You're mostly going to be doing stealthing, so you won't really need an alloy sword, I think. We could also just build an alloy sword just for safety. It might be worth it. Is it worth it? Here, let's see if there's anything else we can build. I can't build any shotguns yet because I don't have the advance, and I can't build any cannons. I can build a laser shorty though, let's do that. There we go, there's the laser shorty. Give you a little bit of an upgrade there. At some point we're gonna get laser swords, as well as mag swords, so I don't want to over-invest in like these low-tier weapons that are eventually just gonna get sold off. But if this mission gets really hard, though, I'm gonna regret not building that extra alloy sword. That's the other issue. Is it worth it to just go for it? I feel like it's probably worth it to just build it. I don't like to over-invest too much into the laser tech, but this isn't even laser tech. This is like one tier below laser. It's like tier 1.5 kind of stuff rather than tier 2 stuff. But yeah, we definitely don't want to over-invest in that. But this should be fine though. Let's get you guys out there. And there goes the Bradford Ranger in all its glory.
Sky Ranger deployed. Squad green to deploy.
Alright, we found a liberation mission here, which is excellent. Now the next question is, can we find the liberation mission down here? I'm thinking we will probably want to do that, actually.
Regional tract.
But before we do that, I almost forgot. It's a new month. We
Avengers
should
are in
actually
new
be checking
course.
out the black market to see what new soldiers we've got. Let's go do this really quickly.
Market is open.
Infantry and Titan. Interesting. Cash is tight early on, so I don't want to buy too many things that I don't need. If I don't have enough soldiers to run missions, I'll pick up one of these two soldiers, but right now I don't think I need to do that just yet. And Wavering Stance PCS is worth a lot, so I'll probably sell that. I want to sell Lancer Corpses, but they're actually something that I need to hold on to. They unlock certain pieces of tech that we need. I can't get rid of those just yet. I can sell my speed loaders, suppressors, anything that's a basic weapon mod or a PCS I can get rid of. Most of this stuff I'm okay with getting rid of. I don't really use these underbarrel shotguns and launchers too much. Ability, autoloader, powered bayonet. I'll hold on to one regular bayonet. Basic psi. We'll hold on to that laser rifle. Nice 302 cash. Alright, do we pick up the Avenger Power first, or do we go for our Liberation 2 first? We'll try to find the Liberation 2. We're probably not going to find it on time. I've kind of neglected this region a decent amount. We also get a Haven Advisor in there. Try to find our Liberation here. Another UFO? Ooh.
Setting course.
I think we're gonna try and stealth it. Alright, we got another UFO mission over here. We're gonna try our very best to try and intercept this UFO. If we intercept 2 UFOs in a row, we've effectively crippled the enemies beyond repair in the early game. If we can set this up properly, I'll be very happy. Let's see if we can do this. We'll bring 1 Shinobi to scout with. And I need a hacker unit of some sort, something that can hack from a distance. Do we have anything of that nature? This Dragoon is currently out on a covert action, so I can't bring that person back. And this hijacker is out for 18 days. No, that's such a good mission. I want to do this. Where's our roboticist? Are they on a different mission? Yes, I think the roboticist is on... No, you're not here. Where are you? Let me just throw someone in here temporarily. Where's that other roboticist? We can get another UFO. We can just stop them from dropping in more reinforcements into that region. We'll really just control that region and prevent Advent from doing anything. It would be so nice if we could just cripple them like that. Where's that roboticist? Eula is here. It says she's available.
Officers might be more resourceful than your average trooper, but I
Why isn't
doubt
she
our
able to show up
forces
on
will
that
have any
mission?
trouble bringing in a test subject for.
Where is that roboticist? There you are, Eula. Okay, we've got a roboticist, and we've got ourselves a shinobi. You two are gonna stealth into this mission and try very, very hard to get this hack reward. Gonna be pretty tough, and there's a high chance that we might end up losing both of you guys. It's a sacrifice worth taking in my eyes. With a boost, we can get this up to 119%. That's still going to be 10 to 12 enemies. If we can reduce this down by just a little bit more... Do you have like a suppressor or something? I don't think I can get this any lower than this. Is there any way I can reduce... Okay, if I take off all armor from these guys, we can bring this down to 126%. But that's still 10 to 12 enemies, unfortunately, even with a boost. But it does remove an entire group of enemies, so the difference between 100 and 125% means like 2 less enemies. So this implies that this went from 12 enemies down to 10. I think 10 enemies is okay. I think you guys should be able to handle it like this. I'm gonna not give you guys any armor because, for the most part, if you guys get caught, you're probably getting shot to death by everything anyway, so we're trying not to get caught here. Ooh, didn't do that. Alright, I think we're gonna do it with this team. Eula, where are you? Alright, Eula and Adam Wing, you guys are gonna be in charge of this mission. Do your very best, try not to get caught. We're gonna make you guys extra stealthy. Ooh, you know what? Let's dress them up actually for the stealthiness. Let's give you guys some little secret agent outfits maybe. Let's see if we can find it. There we go. Take off your arms, take off your legs. Take off your forearm stuff and take off your shin stuff. Okay. There you are, Adam Wing, looking pretty stealthy there. Give your weapon a bit of a color upgrade. Alright, this guy's looking very stealthy right now. And then Eula. Boy, did we change up Eula's outfit? I think here's what we're gonna do for her outfit. So there's a tintable variant and a different colored variant. Let's go with the different color variant of her stuff. Let's see how this looks. Okay, so this is how stealth Eula looks. Alright guys, and now this is how stealth Eula looks. How do you guys like the new black color scheme that she's got? And this is how stealth Adam Wing looks. These two secret agents are going to be in charge of trying to find the location of the next UFO drop point. And if they can find it, we can get up to there, destroy that UFO, and just literally cripple Advent's early game as hard as possible while injecting our economy with so many supplies. Get out there, you two. I'm counting on you guys. I know you guys can do it. I'm looking forward to doing the mission in a few episodes from now, because that's going to be a very big mission. Worst case, we end up losing 2 soldiers. Best case, we get a UFO mission and we get to stop it and get a whole bunch of resources.
Setting course for Mexico.
Let's head back down to here and keep on looking for our next liberation. Ooh, pick your poison. So, in Beyond Legendary, there's going to be these little events called Pick Your Poison events, where you have to pick between one of 3 really bad things to happen. So let's take a look at these. These usually involve upgrades to enemy units. Priests gain bonus aim for every living squad mate. Priests gain bonus critical chance for every living squad mate. Priests gain bonus defense for every living squad mate. Ooh. This makes the priests impossible to kill, and the Advent priests are already super tanky. I don't know if I want to give them this. They do tend to be the last ones that I kill anyways. The other option is to give them perception. Early on, their gunshots don't hurt too much, but later on, it does actually chip quite a bit. So I don't know if I want to give them perception. These numbers are generally pretty big numbers also. Like, one time I gave Advent officers bonus aim for every living squad mate, and they had like 90% accuracy on me through like full cover if all of their teammates were still alive. Well, crits are always a bad thing, so I guess we wouldn't want crits. Yeah, I guess we take this one. Our goal is to kill all of the priest's allies anyway, so if I get rid of all of their allies, they'll be less likely to take shots against us that are good shots. Yeah, I guess so. Alright, priests gain bonus aim for every living squad mate. Keep on scanning. Did we get our liberation? We did not, but we do get an opportunity to pick up a brand new soldier here. This is a pretty nice one. If there wasn't Pathfinder search teams, I'd probably actually force this mission. I do want a combat class. Combat class is a really powerful unit. If I can do this mission, I don't know if I can. We'll try it. Our Haven advisors out while we decide on what we want to do. So I'll bring the skirmisher. A lot of the enemies here will be very bulky. They'll have lots of armor because that's what Pathfinders are. So we're going to want units that can shoot through armor very effectively. Either really high raw damage, like the marksman, burns to just deal with them, or a grappling hook to displace them so we can just kill them off. High raw damage weapons like the sawed-off shotguns are not a bad choice either. And then maybe bring this technical along. Now, unfortunately, we won't be able to run this mission without a boost. I could try doing this at scant, but I feel like dealing with 10 to 12 Pathfinders is just going to be a complete pain in the butt, and I kind of don't want to do that. The other option is I can take off one of these soldiers. I could run 4 soldiers and try to do a 4-soldier mission. I guess it would be okay to do a 4-soldier mission. I guess. Maybe. We do have access to brand new laser weapons, so let's go build ourselves a bullpup. Laser bullpup will up our damage by quite a good amount. We can also get a laser rifle for our ranger up there, and we could probably build one more laser rifle for the technical. Laser rifle, there it is. Build one more laser rifle for Thackboy over here. Are we gonna run a 4-man squad? I might. I think I probably will, in fact. Bring a whole bunch of grenades so we can just bomb down the Pathfinders and shred all of their armors. This is at 99%. We do need to remove some equipment if we want to be able to do this mission. Here's what we'll do. We'll make Wati very fast. High mobility Wati means we can use the sawed-off shotgun to blast them all much more easily. Let's do that, and let's go grab some equipment over here. Advanced laser sight for those extra crits. We will want extra crits. Maybe a heavy barrel. We do want to make sure that the skirmisher is getting crits, and that will assist us in getting one-shots against them. I think we should do this. And maybe an expanded magazine for more ammo. Another expanded magazine for the ranger over here. Rangers tend to use up their ammo very, very quickly, so we want them to be able to get these good hits off. Laser sight or scope? I think we'll take the scope. Scope and bayonet. If you ever need to do melee attacks, you have that opportunity now. And then just, I don't know, whatever else we can slap onto this technical. We might also prefer that the technical has more mobility. Yeah, let's do that. We'll give the technical more mobility also, so this guy can get flamethrowers in position to hit the enemies. I'm going to keep our arsonists the way they are, and they're also going to carry a medkit with them, just in case someone needs healing. What I might do is I might take off this medkit from you. Give the medkit over to one of you guys. Maybe you. Alright, this will be our squad. It's going to be a 4-man squad against a minimal number of Pathfinder units. These guys are very heavily armored, so I'm a little bit worried about this team's capabilities in handling this type of mission. Hopefully they'll be okay. I think they will be okay. Nothing else to give you. Alright then, let's get you guys out there. Go kill some enemies with you 4. We're running a couple of slightly riskier missions. The missions are not conforming to the usual 5-man versus 7 to 9 enemies, but in Beyond Legendary you gotta really be flexible with this type of stuff and be able to push through some of the adversity that you'll end up dealing with. And we got ourselves our infirmary next. Nice. And what we're gonna do now is we are going to go throw in one of our scientists. Won't work. No negative traits yet. I won't unlock the gene mods just yet. They'll come up in a bit. Not just yet, though. On scanning, see if we can find that. Liberation. There's the liberation. Ooh, we can get ourselves Nyan. You know, Nyan, you haven't shown up in our campaigns for a long time on stream. Finally got a chance to show up in the YouTube, but unfortunately we've only got 3 days and 11 hours. Even compound. Let's see if we can do this. The compound series of missions you can stealth using 3 soldiers. So we're going to try and stealth this with our 3 soldiers. Let's see what we can achieve here. Ourselves a marksman and an overseer. I don't want to strain you guys too much. I'll bring someone else down here. Not exactly the best team though. Yeah, this isn't exactly the best team when it comes to killing things. With 3 people and a boost, we should be able to get this down to minimal. That is good. I just wish I could give you guys some better equipment. Alright, regardless, we just bring our C4 and that's all we need. Marksman over here should be able to knock out 1 enemy per round with that auto sniper rifle. A combination of the cannon and some grenades should be able to knock out the other types of enemies on this mission. I think we'll be okay, probably. It'll be a very fast-paced mission. Alright, let's bring the squad over there. Get you guys out there. We got a compound mission to do. It is nice that we got a compound mission. At the very least, we were given the option to do it with 3 people. Even if we don't have the best 3-unit squad.
In position for deployment.
And with that, we found the liberation missions in both these regions. We can now go scan for that Avenger power. Let me just slap some people in here for now, temporarily. Want you guys to no longer be tired, so I'm not going to field anyone in here just yet. When you put a tired person into the Haven Advisor role, they stop counting down with their tiredness.
Avenger
So if you want them to
plotting
not
new
be
course.
tired, you gotta give them a bit of a break. Got ourselves our alien debris cleared. Nice. And I think over here we said we were going to do a power relay, so let's go do that real quick. Do have the supplies to afford that. And then after that, what else are we going to do after this? I think after that, we need to get ready to start setting up our GTS for officer training. Officers are a very interesting part of the game introduced by Long War. And you can have a squad leader who's able to kind of control the battlefield a bit and give lots of passive bonuses to your allies. Let me just see if there's anyone here that I actually want to turn into an officer. If I were to turn someone into an officer, I would probably go for... I don't actually know. Who would I turn into my officer? I feel like if I were to do an officer, it should be something like, I don't know, maybe one of these Dragoons? Dragoon's not a bad choice for an officer. It'll take some time for them to come back home and start training up, though. Dragoons aren't a bad choice for officer. Hijacker's not a bad choice either. I think Hijacker, Dragoon... The Shinobis are not bad choices either. Usually when it comes to officers, they have these extra bonus actions that can provide power-ups to the squad, but it requires them to give up their actions. So the best units to turn into officers are things that kind of don't really care about their actions, or units that use up consumables, so once they've used up all their consumables, they can start commanding. So for example, the technical, once they've used up all of their flamethrowers and their rockets, let me see if I can find that technical... they're down here. But yeah, once they've used up all their rockets and flamethrowers, they can start issuing out commands. That's one way to use them. The other way is to have a stealth soldier, which I believe most people agree this is the best type of soldier to turn into an officer. You have a stealth soldier that's not only providing value by being in stealth, but normally, when a soldier is in stealth, they can't do anything else. All they can do is spot. Now, as an officer, you can issue out commands and stuff from stealth, while providing vision to your squad, which is a very, very good bonus to have. So I'm thinking we probably turn our Shinobis into officers. We can also opt to make our Sharpshooter into an officer. Which one was it? I think it was this one over here. We can also opt to turn our hollow target Sharpshooter into an officer. And using their absurdly high aim growth, we can give bonus aim to all of our allies. That's one option. Here, why don't we go talk about this for a bit.
Guerrilla Commander, we've pushed our current power systems to the limit.
So I'm not
We
going
don't
to do
have
this
any
guy as an
capacity
officer,
to
but
spare,
we're just
which
going
means
to
we can't
showcase
expand
all the
our facilities
abilities.
further.
So, the officer starts off with the leadership ability. Officer provides bonuses to will, dodge, and infiltration to soldiers who have previously served under his or her command. These bonuses scale up the more missions they go on together. Does this give more information on how much it gives? It doesn't, but basically the more missions that you do with your officers, the more bonus stats that you get. And because of that, you try to make squads based off of your officers. You also get the command ability, which is you grant a bonus action to any visible member of the squad. The number of charges is dependent on the officer's rank. Basically, it converts the officer into the most useful soldier's action on that turn, if that makes sense. If you guys have ever played Fire Emblem, it's very similar to the Dancer class, where the Dancer gives a bonus action to your best unit for every single turn. It's basically duplicating a really, really powerful action. Command is very powerful, and it's best used on people who are not going to be contributing much to the damage output for your squad. Now, over here, once you finally get them to be an officer, the first thing they'll learn is one of these two abilities. You can either have Oscar Mike spend an action to give all allies within command range +5 mobility for the remainder of the turn, usable once per mission. The other option is Focus Fire. Grant your squad cumulative aim bonuses and 1 armor piercing on attacks against that target for the rest of the turn, I believe is what it's supposed to say. Yep. And I'll let you guys read through some of this stuff over here. Yep. 1 charge of it, and the command range increases as you get more officer levels. Does not provide bonuses for stunned or panicked allies and robotic allies and civilians. Focus Fire over here, I'll let you guys read all of that yourselves. Now, when it comes to usability, you would think that Focus Fire would be great in Beyond Legendary because there's going to be so many boss units, and Focus Fire is really best used against bosses. But I find that usually when you already have hollow targeting and a bunch of stuff on the enemies, Focus Fire isn't as relevant. It's not something that I notice very much compared to something like Oscar Mike. Oscar Mike has a lot of key moments during missions where you need to just escape. This allows you to get out very quickly, or when you need to reach an objective, or when you just need like a big mobility boost on your squad and you just want to run in and crush the enemies. I find that you oftentimes get more value out of Oscar Mike. And the way I determine this is, determine which one I pick is based on the officer themselves. So if the officer is a type of unit that's going to be on guerrilla missions more often, like timed missions with less enemies, then I tend to take Oscar and Mike. But if the officer is going to be like that sharpshooter officer who's really trying to provide stats to their allies, and they'll be on missions that are not timed but like long, big warfare type missions, then I tend to take Focus Fire. But overall, if you're not sure what you want to take, I would generally say Oscar Mike sees a lot more use compared to Focus Fire. Next rank over here is going to be Incoming versus Get Some. You can activate this ability to grant everyone within command range 4 points of damage resistance against explosive attacks through the end of the next alien turn. This is a free action. This is particularly useful when mechs start showing up, and when a lot of these heavy bombardment type enemies start showing up. You can just gather the team together, activate your incoming, and just huddle together and just take minimal damage from all the micro missiles, instead of letting them just shoot at a single person and killing them for a big crit hit or something. That's one way to use incoming, and it's actually useful. I would say this is actually a pretty good rank over here. It's pretty hard to decide which one you would rather take. Get Some over here gives you a 1 action move that allows you to give everyone within your command range plus 20 bonus to critical hit chances for the remainder of the turn. There's a lot of really cool combination attacks in this game that revolves around crit, and using Get Some will give you just some really, really big hits against enemies, especially when you are, when there's like a turn where you just need a big volume of fire. This is some pretty big numbers actually. This guarantees a lot of crits. Like a lot of times you'll have soldiers that have like, what, 50-60% chance to crit, bringing that up to like the 70-80% crit chances for every single soldier is quite nice, especially if you're trying to kill a boss unit off that can be crit. Unfortunately, this will be useless against the Chosen, but against a lot of other things, this can be very useful. I tend to get some. There's a lot of combos that rely on getting guaranteed crits, so I try to get this on most of my squads, but this is still very useful. Especially in Beyond Legendary, Reshi has made a bunch of super Requiem enemies that do insane amounts of damage with explosives. Like, I've taken like 15, 20 damage grenades before. So it's not a bad idea to take incoming on some officers, but generally I prefer to get some so we have a bit more offensive power rather than defensive. Over here we got Trial by Fire and Jammer. Trial by Fire. Any soldiers below the rank of Sergeant will be automatically promoted after a successful mission. So, Sergeant rank would be, let me show you guys how far Sergeant rank is up here. Sergeant rank is about here. So, you can make it so that each soldier that participates on a mission, if you're a squatty, a lance corporal, or a corporal, you'll automatically promote. Now, most of the time, if you're a squatty, you're already promoting after the mission, but if you're lance corporal or corporal, usually it requires 2 or 3 missions to get that promotion. So this cuts down on the number of missions that a soldier needs to go on by quite a lot. And you can pretty much use the officer with Trial by Fire to kind of take all of your rookies and just auto-promote them as quickly as you can, and get a full squad of sergeants up and running as quickly as possible. Because lower ranked soldiers in the late game are just going to get destroyed very, very quickly. And I do actually like Trial by Fire a lot, especially on my first few officers. Now, Jammer's an interesting one. Once per turn, delay the arrival of inbound enemy reinforcements by 1 turn. Now, what does that actually mean? Does this explain it? It doesn't explain it properly. Basically, it means you delay the current set of reinforcements by 1 turn, but not the future ones. So what actually ends up happening is, for example, if you're on a mission and the game is scheduling 2 back-to-back reinforcements, if you activate Jammer, for 1 round, for the next round you won't get reinforcements, but for the round after that, you actually get 2 drops of reinforcements. And I would be much more inclined to take Jammer if it shifted the entire reinforcement schedule back by like 1 for every single future reinforcement, but this is only for like the next incoming drop of reinforcements. And overall, I find that it's better to just let them drop and take care of them rather than waiting an extra round and having everything just come at once. I mean, it's helpful, don't get me wrong, but I generally prefer taking Trial by Fire just because Jammer wasn't as nice as I remembered it to be. Maybe I should give it more chances. Maybe I should try another Jammer officer and see if it becomes a bit more relevant, but for the most part, I'd rather just kill all the reinforcements on the round rather than waiting 1 more round. Next set of perks over here. This is kind of where some of the really nice perks are showing up now. We've got Lead by Example. The officer improves the aim, will, and hack of soldiers within command range by half the difference between the soldier and the officer. Only base stats are considered for this perk. So what does that mean? That means, for example, if you look at our sharpshooter over here, right? If I was planning on turning this person into an officer, or this person that isn't a sharpshooter, where's that sharpshooter that I was looking at? This guy. This guy was 85 aim. If we turn this guy into an officer, that means if we have a baby soldier underneath them, for example, this gorilla with 62 aim, 85 minus 62, that would be 23. Half that difference would be 11.5, so let's just round that. I don't know if it rounds it up or down, but let's just say 12. This guy's going to get 12 more accuracy, so now they'll have 74 accuracy instead of their 62 accuracy. That's a very, very big difference. Very helpful, and especially if you have a whole squad of very low accuracy shooters, you can really power up your squad. Like, for example, this Viper over here, this is kind of our infantry Viper, and they've been struggling to get shots off on the past few missions that they've shown up on. With these bonus accuracy power-ups, we can bring this person's accuracy up by quite a bit and make them a much more effective shooter. I'm personally a huge fan of that ability, and also, if you take a look at the text over here, it not only says aim, will, and hack of soldiers also. Hack is the very interesting stat here. Will is also pretty cool too, but the hack is a really interesting one. If you have a soldier, for example, what's an airport? They've gotten an enemy protocol, and I'm assuming they'll probably get future enemy protocols as the campaign goes on. We might end up with, like, I don't know, a 120 hack stat on Super Hacker. That Super Hacker will give that hack stat bonus to all of their subordinates too, and help boost up their hack stat and allow them to get really, really good hack attempts on the enemy units. That is a very interesting one. There's certain classes that get really, really big hack growth. For example, the Agent class, as well as the, if you get the Advent Pathfinder, those also come with a lot of hack stat. If you get those guys and turn them into officers, they can become very, very powerful leaders for your hacker units. Very interesting way to build. And then over here we have the, where is it? The Collector ability. Any kills of a non-human enemy by the squad have a 33% chance to grant 1 intel point as long as the officer is healthy. Most missions we're going to end up having maybe like 10-ish enemies, 9-ish enemies. And out of those, let's assume there's 3 pods of 3, so 3 groups of 3, and each one of the pod leaders will be an alien, and then the other 2 will be troopers. That's not always the case, but that's just like a good ratio to have. So 1 alien to 3 troopers. That means out of a mission of 9 enemies, 6 of them will end up being troopers, and 3 of them will be non-human enemies, so aliens essentially. And each of those 3 aliens have a 33% chance to grant 1 intel point. So approximately 1 intel per mission. It might not seem like a lot until you realize by the end of the campaign you're gonna go through like, what, 50-ish missions, and assuming that officer ends up being trained really early on, that officer in those 50 missions will get you a lot of intel. And not every mission is just like a 9 enemy mission, right? There's a couple of missions out there that's gonna have like 50 enemies on it. A decent amount of missions actually. So for the most part, picking this perk is essentially like saying I want to have like an extra let's say 40-ish points of intel for each officer that picks this perk up. That's not bad, and I guess I should quantify. What does intel mean, right? Well, intel is spent on making contact, and it is also spent on boosting missions. So it is essentially what keeps your campaign alive, because doing missions and making contact is what allows you to slow down the Avatar project and prevent yourself from losing the campaign. Intel is, in my opinion, one of the most important resources to just build up a huge reserve of, because it prevents you from losing. Like, you ever have those moments where you have the Avatar project counting down really close, and you really badly need to reach like an Avatar facility over here, but it's just too far away and you have no intel and you just lose because of that?
Commander,
Intel
I
basically
appreciate
prevents that
you
from
recruiting new
happening.
Staff for the engineering team,
Ooh,
but as it
apparently
stands,
I have
we have
an engineer that's
people
not at
still waiting
work.
for an assignment. We can have them working on
Where's my
construction,
engineer? Let's
excavation, or staffing
throw
a
the
facility.
engineer. Yeah, let's upgrade this. It's only 50
Imagine
supplies
our
and it's
current
free.
Power systems to the limit. We don't have any capacity to spare,
Just
which
throw
means we
these
can't
guys in here
expand our facilities
temporarily so I
further.
don't forget. Make use of these gremlins. There we go. And then maybe I'll throw this next guy right down here, perhaps. There we go. But yeah, so basically intel is a really, really important resource for not losing the campaign, essentially. I do like to take Collector if my officer does not have any standout stats. So Lead by Example is particularly useful if you have either really high aim, really high hack stat, and I guess really high will. I know there's a lot of modded stuff that targets your will stat, so it's actually not bad to have an officer with very high will. But if you're lacking on all of those things, right? For example, if I pick one of my shinobis and they don't have really high aim, they don't have high will, and they don't have high hack, then probably it's best to just give them Collector so that they can just passively collect intel throughout the entire campaign. Okay. Next up over here, Fire Discipline. All allies within command range of the officer gain plus 10% chance to hit on reaction fire. There's a bit more information there. We also have a Deflate over here. Officers within command range of the, or soldiers within command range of the officer receive plus 5 bonus to defense value provided by cover. So this is whether or not you want to survive longer, or if you want to kill things with Overwatch more. I find that Fire Discipline is particularly useful if you run a lot of Overwatch builds. Currently, I think we do have a decent amount of soldiers that do have Overwatch builds, so I will probably end up taking Fire Discipline on most of my officers. Defilade is the other option for survivability. This is best for firefight type team compositions, but for the most part though, I would say we're already stacking our defenses up with a bunch of smoke grenades, we have our shield units and stuff, so we pretty much don't need Defilade nearly as much as we want just reliability on our Overwatch builds, and we got a couple of those, so I'll probably be taking Fire Discipline. If you have a roster that has like 0 Overwatching units, then probably you would take Defilade. But yeah, decision's kind of just fairly binary there. You either have Overwatch units or you don't. Over here we got Air Controller. This is a really, really big rank actually in my opinion. The Sky Ranger will arrive 2 turns sooner during evacuations, or the officer's squad will infiltrate enemy targets more quickly. These two are both very, very good in my eyes. Very, very good. One allows you to bring bigger squads, the other one allows you to run stealth missions better. I think for the most part, my shinobis and my stealthy type units on those guerrilla type missions will probably end up taking Air Controller, with one of our big officers probably grabbing Infiltrator for the big squad infiltrations. I don't remember the exact number, but I believe it was significant enough to be noticed. So that's something to keep in mind there. And then down here we have the final rank of items. All allies within command range of the officer do +1 damage with all successful attacks. And Scavenger. Mission rewards of supplies, alien alloys, and Illyrium increased by 30% after successful missions. Squad members have a chance of collecting extra alloys and Illyrium from aliens. Oh, this is a really difficult choice. I think one officer should probably take combined arms, but for the most part, I'd probably take Scavenger on most of my teams. I think just, especially in Beyond Legendary, there's so much stuff that just eats through your alloys very quickly. And instead of gaining like 20 alloys on a mission, gaining that extra bit of like 5-7 alloys, it might not seem like a lot, but it stacks up, especially on those supply raids. Like 5 alloys is enough to build an extra Predator armor. Very big deal. Coil weapons, they all cost 5 alloys, 5 Illyrium or something like that. So this is enough to squeeze out 1 extra piece of equipment after every big salvage mission. I really do like this, but combined arms is also so good though. All alloys within range of the officer do +1 damage with all successful attacks. And that +1 damage, as I've explained before, if you have a multi-shot ability, that's not just +1 damage. If you can shoot twice in a round, that's +2 damage. So let's say, for example, we're in the endgame and we have a squad of 8 soldiers on a mission. That's already +8 damage in 1 round on every single soldier. Then comboed with the fact that most of those soldiers, let's say 6 of those soldiers, have multi-shot abilities, then that means that's another +6 damage onto the entire squad. That would be like a 14 damage bonus on your entire total damage output. Very big deal when you start factoring in the fact that you're going to be evaluating raw numbers attacks against boss units and stuff. Overall, it's kind of a tough choice. I think it's better to have Scavenger early on, but then you definitely want to have at least 1 officer with combined arms, in my opinion, to deal with like the really, really tough missions. So I think what I will probably do is I'll do 1 officer with combined arms, and then the rest will have Scavenger. But that is going to be that for now. Let's keep on scanning. We are almost done for today's episode, I think. We found all of our liberation missions, so we're just scanning for the Avenger power here. Ooh, a supply raid. Oh, I can't do that one, though. Only 1 days and 22 hours. Well, that's going to happen. This place is going to hit strength 2 very soon. Over here, we've got a neutralized target, get Advent's attention. I'm kind of not in the mood to get Advent's attention, and we're also running low on soldiers right now, so I'm probably going to pass this one up. And the next mission should be showing up fairly soon. Here we are. Alright guys, it seems like we're gonna be doing our stealth mission next. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. Next one, we are going to be trying to catch our second UFO, stop them from landing more strength into this region and making missions tougher. If we do that, we get to salvage their UFO, add more power to the Avenger, as well as get a ton more alloys and Elerium. This is going to be a very, very good campaign if we can succeed on this, and I'm really hoping that we do. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode though. Thank you guys very much for watching. Till next time, have a good night. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Leave comments. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. I read every single comment that comes our way. And till next time, have a good night, you guys. Bye-bye.